I'm Massimo Canali. I am a researcher of the University of Bologna, and I am responsible for the activities of a roadmap in Italy, and in particular of the living labs on the poultry and the pig sectors. This sector is mostly formed by small individual farmers, and so the production is very fragmented, and for these reasons, you have to change the behavior and the practices of a lot of small individual farmers, so it will take time, and also a large sector of those farmers are quite aged, so close to retirement, and so they are not so keen to change, to make new investments, yes, because most of them have all the structures for production, so not so easy to adapt them to new biosecurity practices, and these are the most important problems in this sector. There is one fraction that is about 30% of production that is highly concentrated, and in this part is easier for change. Other specific problems for this pig sector in Italy is that we produce EV pig, and those pigs stay in the farm for much more time than the light pigs that they produce in other parts of Europe. So, and this, for this reason, we have more probability to have the need to use antibiotics, and so this is another problem. But I think that in time, if we change the structure, especially with the renewal of the farmers, with the new generation, the things will improve a lot. For the poultry sector, it is very concentrated. 90%, more than 90% of production is made by five big integrators. So this, for poultry, it has been easier to reduce antibiotics, and they did reduce more than 90% compared to 2011. So they undertook the initiative, and they set targets for this specific sector, and actually they succeeded in a use reduction. The living labs, for the pig sector, we are focused on updating of the guidelines for the use of antibiotics in farms, especially made by one of the most producing regions in Italy, Emilia-Romagna. They did some years ago guidelines for the use in farms of antibiotics, and these guidelines have been adopted also at national level. This living lab was an occasion to relaunch a process for a renewal of these guidelines and an updating according to the evolution of the legislation at the European level, and also to the evolution of the practices. The main achievement is that now they are in the process of changing this, and so it was quite successful for us to have started this process. So this is, I think, the main achievement. And for the poultry sector, we did an evaluation of the national plan for the poultry sectors that was put in place by the Poultry Industry Association, and this was evaluated by using a methodology of the FAO for evaluating the national plans, and it was the first time that it was used to evaluate a specific sector and not a whole country policy, etc. So it was quite interesting for us to do it, and also for the FAO, I think, because so they saw that how this tool, this analytical tool, could be applied at the sector level instead of a whole country. So I had a lot of attention from stakeholders and good participation. And all in both living labs, all main stakeholders were represented in the from private sector, but also for the public sector. For example, the representative of public health and all the bodies involved in checking the use of antibiotics, control pharmaceuticals, etc., and also the authorities regulating the agricultural policy, and now, for example, the use of antibiotics and the specific metrics used to evaluate biosecurity in farms, etc., have been adopted for the payment of European subsidies to farmers. So I think that the impact was good.